Good morning, class. So it's nice to see you all again here in our classroom, and I hope everyone is eager to learn of our new topic today. But before we start our main topic, kindly remain standing for our prayer, and may I ask the class president to please lead the prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Before you go to your seats, I want you to please arrange your chairs properly and pick up the pieces of trashes under your chair. And after that, you may now go to your seats, okay? Thank you so much, class. So, Miss Secretary, do you have an absent for today's discussion or for today's lesson? Okay, so there are no absent for today. Very good. Let's give ourselves a big round of applause, everyone. So, good job, class, and I hope that this behavior will be carried out throughout this period. So, before we begin to our new topic, which is a secret for now, let's have first a recapitulation of what we did last meeting or what we did last lesson. So, may I call in Miss Inko to answer what was our topic that we had last meeting. Very good. It's all about the atmosphere. And what is atmosphere, what is the definitions of atmosphere since we talked about atmosphere last meeting? Yes, Miss Duran? Okay, very good. So the atmosphere is an invisible blanket that protects us from foreign things coming from outside space, such as UV rays and meteors. Now, for the next question, so what is the main gas components that makes up the Earth's atmosphere? Yes, Miss Baguio? Okay, very good. No, so nitrogen. So the main gas that's in our atmosphere is the nitrogen. So how many percent nanday ang nasa nitrogen sa ating atmosphere? Very good. It is composed of 78% of nitrogen, while ang oxygen is pila nanday ang oxygen sa ating atmosphere. Yes, no, very good. It is only composed of 21%. And when we add 78 to 21, it sums up to 99%, and the remaining 1% are the other trace gases such as carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and helium, and other trace gases. So very good, class, no? So you already learned, or you already have the foundation of what this atmosphere is all about, and I think you're now ready to learn about a new topic for today, which is all about layers of atmosphere. And here are our lessons objectives. First, identify the 5 main layers of the atmosphere. Second, describe the characteristics of the Earth's atmosphere layer. Third, illustrate a detailed diagram of Earth's atmospheric layers. Fourth, defend the importance of each atmosphere layer in supporting life on Earth. And lastly, cultivate a sense of camaraderie through engaging collaborative tasks. So those are the lessons objectives for our lesson today. But before we dig deeper into our main topic today, which is the layers of atmospheres, let's have first an energy check, everyone. Okay, so I want you to do this. Thumbs up if you have 100% energy for this class. A slight diagonal thumbs up if you have 75% energy, and a horizontal thumbs up if you have 50% energy. Okay, so I've seen 100%, very good, 75%, and some are 50%. So don't worry, guys, if you are not energized enough, since I know that science class is somewhat hard, no? And difficult to understand, but don't worry because I'm here to help you. First is, let's have a game. So, do you want a game, class? Very good. All of you want our game. And our game is called Balutin Mo Ako. Okay? So, dili siya, kuwan na, dili siya like Sharon in Christmas gift, but somewhat like Balutin Mo Ako because there is something or there's a surprise inside. Okay? So, let's proceed, or I will read first the mechanics before we proceed to the game. So, the mechanics of our game, which is called Balutin Mo Ako, is first, is the teacher will prepare questions that are written on individual sheets of paper which are folded into layers to create a paper cabbage. So I have here, no, I have prepared this paper that is being folded to form a cabbage. So, kailan ba mag-cabbage class? Yes, na repolyo. So, as you can see or as you've noticed that repolyo has many layers. Yeah, many layers, and each layers contains its leaf. So okay, so the paper cabbage is passed among students in a circle as a music is played. So this cabbage is that you're going to pass this from to your classmates while the music is being played. Then, so when the music stops, so the student holding the paper cabbage carefully peels off one layer. So, if kinsa po ang last nga makakaput ani nga paper cabbage is siya ang mupakli ani nga cabbage iyang basahon ang question. So, the question revealed on the peeled layer is read aloud and answered by the students. Then, if the student provides an incorrect answer, there will be a consequence. So, if wrong ang inyong answer, then how could you prepare na something consequence to elevate or to compromise those wrong answers that you've given. Then the process is repeated until all layers of paper cabbage are peeled and all questions are answered. So is everyone excited and ready? Okay, very good. So let's start our game. Okay, so I'll play the music now and the game will start in 3, 2, 1, and pass this paper cabbage to your classmate. Okay? Oh, the music already stopped and the last person who hold the paper cabbage is Miss Hitalada. Okay, so Miss Hitalada, can you fold and peel the layers of cabbage and read the question? Okay, the question is, what vehicle flies in the atmosphere to avoid turbulence? What's your answer, Miss Hitalada? Yes, very good. It is airplane. And as you can see or as you can witness, airplane flies in the atmosphere. Okay, so if you compare airplane to cars, is airplane are the cars of atmosphere. Very good, Miss Hitalada. Let's give her a big round of applause, please. Okay, let's proceed to the next game or to the next questions while the music is being played. Oh, okay, the music is already stopped again and the last person who hold the cabbage is Miss Fajardo. Okay, Miss Fajardo, can you read the question and answer it? Okay, so the question is, what colorful light are seen in the sky near the poles caused by charged particles from the sun? Correct. The answer is Aurora Borealis. So does everyone of you knows what is Aurora Borealis is? Okay, so Aurora Borealis are what we call northern lights, and these lights form in the atmosphere, specifically in northern or in southern poles during winter season. Okay, so thank you, Miss Fajardo, for answering the questions. Let's give Miss Fajardo another big round of applause, everyone. Okay, let's continue our game. Okay, the music already stopped again and it's landed to Mr. Cambio. Okay, Mr. Cambio, can you please read the question and answer it? Okay, so the question for Mr. Cambio is, what part of the atmosphere protects us by absorbing most of the sun's UV ray? Very good, no? So the answer is ozone layer. So ozone layer can be found in the atmosphere. So this ozone layer helps us to protect harmful ultraviolet rays that comes from the sun. So, and did you know that ozone layer is slowly depleting or nag-anam na siya o kanipis caused by climate change and other human activities. So, what we can do is we should be mindful of what we're doing and help our environment, especially that our ozone layer is slowly depleting. So I hope that's clear, and let's proceed to our next question. Okay, the music stops again and it landed to Mr. Ihas. Okay, Mr. Ihas, can you read the question aloud so that your classmates can hear? Okay, so the question is, what harmful radiation from the sun that can cause sunburn and is blocked by the atmosphere? Okay, very good. It is the UV ray or the ultraviolet ray. So these UV rays or ultraviolet rays emits from the sun, and these rays are somewhat harmful if, especially when we are being overexposed to it, because these UV rays somehow or somewhat can cause cancer to our skin, or what we call skin cancer. So thank you, Mr. Ihas. Let's give him another big round of applause. Okay, let's proceed to the last questions that I prepared. Okay, so the music already stopped and it landed on Miss Villanueva. Okay, Miss Villanueva, can you read the question aloud so that your classmates can hear? What is the name of the invisible shield that surrounds the Earth? Very good to know, it is the atmosphere. So we already talked about atmosphere last meeting. So these are the invisible blanket that covers the Earth, for it protects from foreign things comes from the outer space, such as meteors and UV rays. So thank you, class, for participating. So na-energize to ba ang tanan? Okay, and let's energy check again. Okay, very good. I've already seen 100%, and somehow there are still 75%, but don't worry, because I've prepared more fun and interactive activities that we were going to do in this class. Okay, since I've witnessed or I've noticed that there are still students who are not yet 100% fully energized, so let's have some more activities or more games that you can do in this lesson, okay? But don't worry, because this time it won't be an individual activity, but you're going to work with groups, okay? So our next game is what we called blind date pair, an atmospheric layer edition. Okay, so I will divide the class into 4 groups, and each group will receive an activity sheet that outlines the different layers of the atmosphere. So I have here prepared some activity sheets that we're going to answer. So here, these are the activity sheets that we are going to answer. So it contains different layers of the atmosphere such as troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. And then there will be a box containing random pieces of information about the atmosphere's layers, and it will be provided such as this one. So as you can see, there is a bunch of information given to you, and each group must carefully examine these informations from the box and match it with the appropriate layer in the activity sheets. So groups will be given enough time. I will give 5 minutes to collaboratively analyze and place their guesses on the activity sheet. So I will only give you 5 minutes not to fill in these informations to whether where do you think this information is appropriately in each layer. Okay, so after completing the task, each group will present their answers in front of the class, and group must explain the reasonings behind matching each piece of information to a specific layer in front of the class. Okay, so I will now give and disseminate these activity sheets to your groups. But first, let's count 1 to 4 first to have your groups. Let's start from Miss Malunhao. Count 1, 1, 2. Okay, so you already have your groups. Group 1 will stay here. Group 2 will stay there. Group 3 will stay here. And lastly, Group 4 will stay there. Okay, go to your groups now. And I will now disseminate the activity sheets. Okay, time's up already. And Group 1 is already done. Group 2 is already done as well as Group 3. And Group 4 is still answering. Okay, so I will only give 1 minute left to answer or finalize your output. And I will collect it before you present to your in front of the class. So Group 1 will present first their output, and Group 2 will be second, Group 3 will be third, and the last to present their output is the Group 4. Okay? So choose one representative each groups to present your output here in front of the class. Thank you, groups 1, 2, 3, 4 for presenting the output of yours based from the activity that we had. And now you're going to paste it in our board after you present your output. Okay, so kindly paste this outputs into our board now so that it can be displayed, and we will be check whether these answers of yours are correct. Okay, so thank you for presenting your answers and outputs here in class. No? So let's give ourselves a big round of applause for your cooperation class today. So thank you. So as you've do or your answer those outputs that I've given to you, so I've prepared some questions for you to answer, but don't worry because it is based from the learnings or from what you've noticed during when you answer those questions or filling up those information based from the activity. So question number 1 is, from the activity that you've worked on matching specific informations with the layers of atmosphere, so based on what you've observed, so how do these layers differ from one another? Okay, let's have Group 1, representative from Group 1. Yes, Miss. Yes, Miss Into, you're acknowledged, or you may answer the question. Okay, very good. So the atmospheric layers differ significantly in the characteristics. Specifically, the distance between these layers. So the troposphere contains weather and most air masses, while the stratosphere are the ozone layer and has increases in temperature. So while in the mesosphere, the coldest weather or the coldest temperature is being located, while the thermosphere is being the hot one. And the exosphere is somewhat like the outermost layer of the atmosphere, So basically, the main difference of each layer is somewhat in its distance, its temperature, and other characteristics such as unique characteristics such as the ozone layer, the aurora borealis formation, satellite location, and another things. So thank you, Miss Inta from Group 1. So another one for another questions. So why do you think certain phenomena like weather or auroras borealis only happens specific layers of the atmosphere? So let's have representative from Group 2 to answer that question. Yes, Miss Duran, you may answer the question. Okay, very good, no? So specific phenomena occurs in certain layers of the atmosphere due to their unique conditions. Weather happens in the troposphere because it contains most of the atmospheric mass, because it contains 75% of the atmospheric mass, since troposphere is below or the most bottom part of the atmosphere. So basically, gialsa niya ang ubang layers nga naa sa atmosphere. Since troposphere man ang naa sa ubos, sumurag siya ang nag-alsa sa tanang weight nga naa sa another or nasa laing at different layers of the atmosphere. And then aurora borealis form in the thermosphere due to its solar particle interaction. So with the thin atmosphere that at that height, so meteors born in perfectly for creating enough friction without being too dense to instantly destroy them. So basically, each layers perform different different jobs, no? So without this na layers of atmosphere, so if one is missing, then there will be tendency to have disruptions in our Earth. So it's important that we know the importance of each layer because they perform well in helping us or in keeping us safe from foreign things outside from the Earth. Okay, so for the next question is, how do you think each layer of the atmosphere plays a role in protecting life on Earth? So Group 3 will answer this question. Okay, thank you, Group 3, for that question. So each layer protects the Earth uniquely. So the troposphere regulates our weather and temperature, while the stratosphere is the ozone layer shield that protects us from the harmful UV radiation, while the mesosphere protects us from burning the meteors that enters our atmosphere, and the thermosphere absorbs harmful solar radiations, and lastly, the exosphere acts as our final barrier against space. So together, we create a protective shield systems that protects us from these harmful substances or harmful things coming from the outside Earth or from the outer space. So for the next question, so if one of the layers of the atmosphere were missing, or like for example the ozone layer, how would that affect humans and other living things? So Group 4, do you have an answer to this question? Okay, so thank you so much, Group 4. So without the ozone layer or specific part of the atmosphere, or for example, the ozone layer in the stratosphere, so harmful UV radiations would likely reach the Earth's surfaces, leading to increased skin cancer rates and crop damages, and also harm to marine ecosystems, and also if wala niyang ozone layer, if wala niyang ozone layer sa ato ang stratosphere, plants would struggle to photosynthesize properly, affecting food chains. And also, many organisms or many species would need to adapt or perish due to the increased radiations of exposure. So, if wala man yung atmosphere nga na create a barrier to help or to protect us from UV radiations, then there would be tendency, to further eliminate or naadyo changes kung mahitabo sa atong surroundings, such as ato ang crops or ato ang food is like maapektuhan na since dili naka photosynthesize og maayo ang crops nga to ang kanon. And also like ang uban ko mga species or marine ecosystem, marine animals or diri sa land animals is more likely somewhat ang uban mo evolve or mo adapt to that change, and somewhat ang uban po is like dili nila ma-handle ang sudden change and it will lead to extinction. So it is important for us to know that each layer performs or plays a crucial role in helping us or in protecting us. So for the next question, so based on what you've learned from the activity, why do you think studying and understanding the layers of atmosphere is important for our lives and the environment? So anyone from the class would like to answer that question? Okay, so thank you, Mr. Cambio, for that answer. So understanding atmospheric layer is important because they directly affect our daily lives. So through weather patterns, protections from harmful radiation, climate regulation, and also communication systems such as satellites. So this knowledge helps us predict weather changes, protect against environmental threats, and develop technologies that work within these layers like satellites and aircraft. So basically, like, nang dili na po di ay na-protect atmosphere sa atua, but it also helps us in our daily life, such as telecommunication systems, because satellites are being placed in the atmosphere. And without these satellites in our atmosphere, then it is impossible for us to get information quickly and to be updated of the news that is happening in our world. No? So it is very important for us to understand the importance and the role that these different layers portrays in helping us in our daily lives, and not just to take them for granted na atmosphere naman na wala naman na importance sa ating life. So we should not have that kind of mindset, because these different layers of atmospheres really help us go in our daily life without us even noticing it nga ang naka-help naman din sa ang atmosphere without us realizing its importance. So I hope you learned something from that activity, nga nakagain ng more insight on how important this like atmospheric layer is and each characteristics of each layer. Okay, so since you've already answered those questions that I give to you after you do your activity, now let's proceed to the more or the main topic or the main discussion of our lesson today, which is all about the layers of atmosphere. But before we proceed into our discussions, I have first a question for you. So what do you call the different sections of air surrounding the Earth, starting from the ground up to the outer space? Very good. It is the layers of atmosphere. So now I am going to present a diagram that shows the different layers of the atmosphere. So since you've already answered the descriptions that I've given earlier to you, I'm going now to present the main or somewhat like the main diagram of the layers of atmosphere. So as you can see here, this is the atmosphere. So when we talk about atmosphere, this is the air that surrounds us and makes up the environment we live in. It is composed of a mixture of gas, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, and is made up of layers with different temperatures, pressures, and chemical components. So these atmospheres have different layers, no? And the first layer is what we call the troposphere. So the troposphere is somehow the most bottom part of the atmosphere. So the troposphere is the Earth's lowest atmospheric layer, extending from the surface up to 15 kilometers. So 0 to 15 kilometers is what we consider troposphere. So this crucial layer holds 75% of our atmospheric mass and is where we experience all weather phenomena, including clouds, rain, and storms. So as you climb higher into the troposphere, the temperature steadily decreases with height. So the troposphere, as I've said earlier, it ranges from 0 kilometers up to 15 kilometers. And in this troposphere, it is primarily composed of weather phenomena usually happen, such as formation of clouds, rain, and thunderstorms. So now I'm going to check whether your answers from the activity is all correct. Let's start from group 1 to group 4. Okay, so group 1 answered the troposphere ranges from 0 to 15 kilometers, which is correct. Let's give that a check. Also, all groups responded that in the troposphere it is usually weather phenomena occur, so they are all also correct. And lastly, all groups answered that it contains 75% of the atmosphere's mass, because as what I said earlier, that the troposphere is at the bottom part of our atmosphere, meaning it holds all the weight above it. So like for example, iyang gibit-bit ang tanang weight ni stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, o ni exosphere. So imagine unsa kabugat ang gihold ni ang gihold ni troposphere anak nga weight, right? So bugat jud kaayo, sama siya sa pinakaubos. So next layer of the atmosphere is what we've called the stratosphere. So above the troposphere lies the stratosphere, spinning 15 to 50 kilometers in height. So this layer is notable for hosting the vital ozone layer at its peak, which protects Earth from harmful UV radiation. So unlike the troposphere, temperature increases with height in the stratosphere, creating a stable environment that makes it ideal for commercial aircraft to cruise. So in contrast with the troposphere that we've discussed earlier, since I've said that troposphere, so the temperature in troposphere decreases with height, in contrast with that, the stratosphere, the temperature of the stratosphere increases with height. And sa kaming part of the Earth's atmosphere is did na to makita ang ozone layer. So naadri na locate ang ozone layer na nagprotect sa tuwa from UV radiation. And also, kana po yung airplane na ato makita dira sa babaw sa atmosphere is like naadri na siya nagdagan sa stratosphere nga layer sa Earth. So now, let's check whether your answers from the activity is correct. From group 1 to group 4. Okay, so all groups are all correct with their answers with regards to the stratosphere. So when we look at here in our diagram, as you can see, 12 to 50 kilometers is what is what is the range of the distance of the stratosphere. And also, there is a stratosphere na located ang ozone layer. And also, the airplane or the airplane nga naa sa atmosphere is naadra nagdagan sa stratosphere. Next one is we have the next layer of the atmosphere is what we've called the mesosphere. The mesosphere is in the middle of all the layers of atmosphere. So it ranges from 50 to 80 kilometers up, and it's known as the coldest layer of the Earth's atmosphere, reaching up to low as negative 90 degrees Celsius. So imagine it's cold temperature no, that is a mesosphere. So when we talk about negative 90 degrees Celsius, then it is more likely that it already has ice crystals in it, or somewhat like there is already a snow forming or ice building up in these layers of atmosphere. So this frigid layer is where meteors typically start burning up, protecting Earth's surface from space debris. And the mesosphere also home for mysterious noctilucent clouds, which are ice crystals that form at the edge of space and be seen glowing at twilight. So in this mesosphere, since these layers of the atmosphere is very cold man, since it reaches up to negative 90 degrees Celsius. So when meteor starts to invade our Earth, or if ang meteors is like musul sa atong atmosphere, is diri na siya sa mesosphere mo start o ka-brain, since the environment or the environment of the mesosphere is very cold man, since then mo slowly na og ka-brain ang meteor due to different temperatures, since very cold naman kaayo ang environment sa mesosphere, and that will automatically do the burning up of meteors, making it not to reach the surface of our Earth. So if you've seen in our atmospheres like falling stars, no, that's the term falling star is not correct, but it's somewhat like the correct term is meteor showers, or like meteorites na burn within the atmosphere. There is a mesosphere. So let's check whether the answers of 4 groups are all correct with regards to mesosphere. 50 to 80 kilometers range, all groups are all correct. Coldest layer with negative 90 degrees Celsius, correct also. And meteor starts to burn within the mesosphere. Also, noctilucent clouds appear, making form of frigid icy crystals that form on the edge of the clouds. Since the temperature of it is very cold, which is up to negative 90, then as I said that there's a tendency that ice crystals will form in this area, since the place or the environment of it is very cold and dry. And the next part of the layers of atmosphere is what we've called the thermosphere. So in contradiction to mesosphere, thermosphere is considered the hottest part of the atmosphere. So the thermosphere is a remarkable layer expanding from 80 to 700 kilometers above Earth's surface. So it earns its name by the being hottest atmospheric layer, which temperature soaring up to 2000 degrees Celsius due to the solar radiation absorption. So this layer hosts the spectacular aurora borealis, or what we call the northern lights, and is where many satellites orbits the Earth. So despite its high temperature, the air is so thin that it wouldn't feel hot to an astronaut passing through. Okay, so in contradiction to the mesosphere, so mesosphere is the coldest layer of the atmosphere, while the thermosphere is considered the hottest layer of the atmosphere, not reaching up to 2000 degrees Celsius in its temperature. And also, now The reason why this thermosphere is being considered the hottest part of the layers of atmosphere is because ng diri nga part is like diri na i-absorb tanan, diri na nga part i-absorb tanan ang solar radiation coming from the sun. So when the sun emits harmful rays or UV rays, like i-absorb na siya sa atmosphere, and that specific place of the atmosphere, it is the thermosphere, causing the environment or causing the surrounding of the thermosphere to become hot, reaching up to 2,000 degrees Celsius. And also, if you're going to ask me nga, sir, ingon ka nga, nasa thermosphere na-locate ang mga satellite, nganong dili man malatay ang mga satellites, sir, if init or hottest layer ni ang thermosphere? Well, the answer to that is the air or the air nga nag-surround din sa thermosphere is like nipis na kayo siya nga dili na nimo ma-feel iyahang kainit due to its thinness of the air. Mo dili nimo ma-feel ang kainit sa thermosphere with if mupas ka ani tungod sa iyahang kanipis sa iyahang air nga nag-surround ani. And also, addition to that, ang kaninga thermosphere is like, diri mahitabo ang northern lights or aurora borealis sa thermosphere because there's a charged particles disturbance of the solar radiation causing for these northern lights to appear, specifically in polar regions where it's cold. Diba? Diba, when we talk about thermosphere, it is very hot. And usually, ang mahitabo niya ang kaning aurora borealis or northern lights sa mga cold areas such as North Pole and South Pole. So, when sun emits rays or radiation into our Earth's atmosphere is like, nari siya disturbances mahimo causing that rays to go to the different poles. And since sa thermosphere man usually mo absorb ang light or mo absorb sa mga radiations, then since if mag-mix na ang hot temperature sa thermosphere ang cold temperature sa mga poles sa North Pole o South Pole, then naanay mag-create nga disturbances or like phenomena nga mahitabo causing for these northern lights to appear in different poles. So as you can see here in diagram, the thermosphere ranges up to 80 to 700 kilometers below the Earth's surface. And usually, din mahitabo ang northern lights and where satellite is located. So we're going to check now whether your answers from the activity are all correct from each group. So yes, correct. 80 to 700 kilometers ang range sa thermosphere within or below the surface, which is all correct. Group 1 got it right. Group 2 also got it right. Also, Group 3 and Group 4. It is also considered the hottest layer. Very good, class. Hottest layer since pila ganito kat degrees Celsius iyang ma-reach? Yes, very good. 2,000 degrees Celsius, causing it to very somewhat init na siya kaayo. But, dito natin ma-feel iyang kainit due to the thinness of the air that surrounds and fills. Very good, correct. And also, this is where Aurora Borealis Fort Godol satellite is located, which is all correct. So, nakuha sa tanang group, so all groups are correct within the thermosphere. Next is right now down to the last part or the layers of atmosphere, or what we call the exosphere. So, exosphere is the Earth's outermost layer of the atmosphere, stretching up to 700 kilometers up to approximately 10,000 kilometers into space. So this layer is characterized by extremely low pressure gases like hydrogen and helium. So the exosphere experiences intense solar radiation and serves as the final boundary between Earth's atmospheres and the Earth's atmosphere. So The last or the pinakalayo na jud nga part of the atmosphere is what we call exosphere. And when we talk about exosphere, it's like ihang range between sa Earth's surface is 700 kilometers up to approximately 10,000 kilometers. So when you're going to imagine that kind of distance is like layo na jud kaayo siya from the Earth's surface, or layo na gid kaayo siya diri sa tuang diri sa yuta compared if atwa siyang adtuon gid sa exosphere, no? And the most primarily gas that is being found here in the exosphere are primarily hydrogen and helium. Diba? When we talk about the atmosphere nga, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and the remaining 1% are the other trace gases. So, any nga other trace gases guys, such as hydrogen and helium is like, diri na siya usually makita ang hydrogen and helium sa exosphere. Since now, naman na siya sa pinaka-outer part of the Earth's atmosphere. And usually, dili na to ma-experience ang more like intense na kayo nga solar radiation since mo man siya pinaka nasa outer part. So, meaning, if na siya sa pinaka-outer part of the atmosphere, then siya mismo ang usually maka-experience of solar radiation since siya may pinaka-una nga nagbabag sa tuwang atmosphere. So, low kaayo kaniya layer of atmosphere which is exosphere. But with that kind of like one, it's like nagapon siya gamit because it also protects us no, from foreign solar radiations that happens into our atmosphere. So let's check whether your answers from different groups of our activities are all correct. Yes, no, all answers from the groups are all correct. So basically, again, exosphere ranges up to 700 kilometers up to 10,000 kilometers below the Earth surface. So, yeah, and also like solar radiation is intense in this part because na siya sa pinaka-outer part of the atmosphere. And also, the exosphere pod also contains like light gases such as hydrogen and helium. Okay, very good. So, based from the discussions that we had, unsa ganito ang 5 different layers of atmosphere. First is troposphere, very good. The second one is stratosphere, very good. The third, mesosphere. The fourth, thermosphere, and the fifth and the last is the exosphere. So very good class. So na sagpo na gid niyo ang 5 ka different layers of the atmosphere. So I think na we are now fully like prepped of the knowledge and the different characteristics of each layers of atmosphere. And now you're going to watch this video about the importance of like different atmosphere in our lives.
What is atmosphere? Atmosphere is the layer of gases which surround the earth. The question is, why is atmosphere important? The atmosphere is very essential for life on earth. Without atmosphere, there could be no life on earth. Do you know why? Well, today we will talk about the 5 main reasons why atmosphere is important. Number 1. Oxygen, which is essential for the survival of all living organisms, is present in the atmosphere. Number 2. The atmosphere acts as a protective blanket for the earth by blocking the harmful UV rays from the sun. This function is performed by ozone layer in the atmosphere. Number 3. The temperature on the earth is maintained by the presence of the atmosphere. This is achieved by gases existing in the atmosphere called greenhouse gases. Let us understand how. Greenhouse gases let sunlight pass through the atmosphere, but they prevent the heat that the sunlight brings from leaving the atmosphere. So, without them, our planet would be too cold and life would not exist. Number 4. Water cycle could not have been possible without the atmosphere. Number 5. Atmosphere protects the earth from celestial objects like asteroids and meteors. Hope you enjoyed learning the importance of atmosphere. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to Learny Day. Happy learning!
Okay, so based from the video that you've watched, why is it important, or why is the layers of the our atmosphere important to our lives? Yes, Miss Bachancilia. Very good, no? The layers of the Earth's atmosphere is important in our lives because first, it protects us from the harmful radiations from the sun, and also it also gives us communications and convenience when receiving information. So thank you so much, Miss Bachinsalia, for that answer. So now that you've all fully prepped and knowledgeable about the different layers in the atmosphere, its importance, then I think you are now ready for another fun and activity that we're going to do in this moment. So the game or the activity that we're going to do is what we've called I'll paint what I've laid. So the mechanics of this game is students will remain in the same group assigned earlier, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and the teacher will provide each group with art materials including activity sheets, coloring tools, and any additional supplies needed for tasks. So on the activity sheets that I'm going to provide, each group will create a detailed illustration of the layers of atmosphere, same as this one as a diagram. Then the illustration should highlight important features, key informations for each layers, such as the temperature, distance between the Earth's surfaces, and other phenomena. Then below the illustration is inyong isuwat nga 3 to 5 sentences about importance of atmospheric layers in our lives. Like example, how could the atmosphere protects us, supports life, and affects weather and climate and other ones. So after that, groups will present their works to the class, explaining their illustrations and sharing their reflections. So I will give you 10 minutes to do this activity, and after that, we will choose one representative to present it here in front of the class. So go ahead and do your output. Okay, so all groups already presented their outputs here in front of the class now, so let's give them a big round of applause, everyone, for that information and output that you've shared to us. Now, since you are now fully knowledgeable about the different informations and different in importance of the layers of atmosphere, then I think that you are ready for now for a little quiz about the layers of atmosphere. So I'm going to give you answer sheets, and you're going to answer this in 10 minutes or so. So pass the answer sheets to your back, and once you're done, pass it in front of now together. So there are two types of tests that I've prepared. 1 to 10 is like multiple choice, and the part 2 is essay. It is worth 5 points. Okay, since all papers are already here in front, since mananapag mo tanan, then I want want you to get your assignment notebook and list down these questions for your assignment. So you're still going to pass this in my office before flag ceremony ha, para masignan ako, para maulin ako sa inyo. Remember, ang notebook, hindi na ako masignan is automatically minus, okay? Meaning na, either na-late mo or nangapi mo sa mga class. So, get track. Okay, so the first question, please write this in your assignment notebook that we're going to answer. So, list the 5 layers of atmospheres in order from the ground up to outer space. And number 2, write 1 important characteristics of or functions of each layer. And the next question, in 3 to 5 sentences, explain why the atmosphere is essential for life on Earth. So, that's it. You're going to pass that tomorrow before flag ceremony. Okay, class? Thank you. And now, to end our discussions that we've had, I will give you a mnemonic device for you to easily remember the different layers of atmospheres in order. So, I'm going to present you like, the snow makes everything exciting. So, it starts with letter T, and T stands for troposphere. Snow starts with letter S, stands for stratosphere. Then makes starts with letter M, stands for mesosphere. Okay, correct? Things starts with letter T, T for thermosphere, and lastly, exciting starts with letter E, stands for exosphere. Okay, so thank you, class, and I hope you've learned something, and see you tomorrow. Goodbye, class.